Welcome back, race fans, to the FEG PC Monday Night Truck Series here at the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Qualifying coming to a close and looking forward to another great night of action. As always, I'm your host, James East, with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action to the 60 frames a second. Looking forward to seeing how things are going to go. Again, thank you everybody that tunes in each and every week. We couldn't do it without you, and frankly, it's a lot more fun when you're here. Let me know who you're cheering on and where you're from. Drivers will usually have the broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor. If not, they will just about always watch it back. And let's get ready to go racing here at Daytona. As again, qualifying comes to an end. We get ready to start the party here tonight. Let's see, still waiting for a couple guys. Now, interesting enough, a very, very large portion of the field tonight did not qualify. They're going to be interesting to see how that shake things out for these drivers as we start getting them gridded up here at Daytona. Let's run through the grid. Eli Warren starting on pole. Mark McFadden starting second. Julio Villalobos Jr. starting third. Jeremy Paris starts fourth. Owen Burkhead starting fifth. John Ballou starts sixth. Derek Fulton starting seventh. Kenneth McCullough Jr. starting eighth. Dalton McKinney starts ninth. Eric Park starting 10th. Chad Ross starts 11th. Eddie Hawk starting 12th. We've got Corey Stahl starting 13th. Jeffrey Radke starts 14th. Adam Shane 15th on the grid. John Mullahan starting 16th. Stephen Page starts 17th. Jay Dargert starting 18th. James Kaufman starts 19th. Ryland Fascinato starting 20th. Wally Babb starting 21st. Sean Powers starting 22nd. Briss Luttrell starts 23rd. Jordan Darnell starting 24th. And that's going to round out the grid here tonight. Let's get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Good to be back in the booth here on a Monday night. We've got Race Control tuned in tonight. Joining us from New York, we won't hold that against him. Roger Hale joining us saying boogity, 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 boys. Let's go racing. Corey Stahl here. You've got Jessica Flincham. She's cheering on Wally Babb, another Georgia native. I've got to be partial. I'm from Georgia. We're going to get them rolled out of pit lane. That's a pretty healthy grid. Looks like 24 drivers making their way out. Paulina Fascinato cheering on the distance race team. As it looks like everybody out on track. It's going to be Warren and McFadden on that front row. Getting ready to get things going here. They'll be on that front grid. We've got 80 laps here at Daytona. And no tire restrictions tonight. Since it is a super speedway, everybody's going to be going, as Paulina said, the distance. Drivers making their way around the iRacing safety car. And here we go for 80 laps at Daytona. It's Warren and McFadden up front. Villalobos in Paris, your second row. I've had the pleasure of calling Villalobos in some Xfinity cars before. He's usually pretty quick. And the number 14 Toyota, so he'll be somebody to keep an eye on, as I believe he's going to be running, I think, the 45 machine is what's on the side of that truck. And already it looks like some drivers kind of hopping out of line onto that inside of the track. Those are going to be guys thinking, hey, you know what? I don't want to get involved in an early race collision. Let's take our time, see what these guys are going to do, because up front it's Warren and McFadden still side by side. Villalobos in Paris, that second row. We're 2 wide and about 6 rows deep, I would call it. So I think you're going to see several different strategies here tonight. You're going to have some drivers pushing hard early on, and other drivers kind of playing it safe and waiting for a big crash to come out, and then seeing what's going to happen as things progress. Oh, they are nose to tail up front. McFadden drops out of it there in the number 19 machine. One of those drivers saying, you know what? Getting a little bit too spirited up ahead, as it looks like we're going to go briefly hinting at 3 wide. Excuse me, that was Eli Warren that dropped to the back. McFadden stays out front, number 5 machine. He's guarding the inside line. The high line led by Jeremy Paris in the 24. But that's exactly what we're talking about with Warren, a driver kind of assessing the situation here, not wanting to get tied up. Now I'm going to check. I believe drivers still have 1 fast repair for a super speedway race. I'm going to get confirmation on that for you. Yes, they do have 1 fast repair, 1 get out of jail free card, if you will. And now it's Mackenzie McCullough Jr. moving his way up front. He's being chased by the fast and friendly Canadian Derek Fulton, the number 7. There's Jeremy Paris still on the inside line, the 24. It's going to be Owen Burkhead leading things up on the high line here. As it looks to me like just about everybody still relatively close from about 1st to 23rd, separated by about 3.6 seconds. Now some drivers and broadcasters alike are expecting a caution to come out here. But if there is no caution, and that's a big if here at Super Speedway Racing, if there is no caution, that's going to put guys way behind the pack, and that's the last thing they're looking for here. As Derek Fulton holds on to the race lead, McCullough's went to the high line. McCullough, kind of a strategist here at the FEG PC Racing League. There's been a lot of races in the past year and a half. I've seen that 03 machine start towards the back and just kind of wait for a caution. So a little uncharacteristic to see him out front charging so hard. As here comes John Ballou to take up the race lead, the number 9 Chevrolet. Derek Fulton's went back to the high line. Let us know for the viewers at home, are we expecting a caution fest tonight, or we think it's going to go pretty clean and green for a while? Now, going from memory, I believe the fuel window is going to be around lap 30 for these drivers. I'll get confirmation on that as quick as I can. As Ballou and Paris linked up nose to tail on the inside line. Looks like McFadden trying to join up as well on the inside. But no, Ballou, goes back to the high line. So seeing some drivers definitely swap around out here, hitting speeds in excess of 190 miles an hour. And one of our fans, Paulina Fascinato, makes a great point. Some of these drivers are going to be working together, even if they aren't necessarily teammates. Going to try and get linked up with those you can trust to push hard. And keep your friends close and the enemies closer as you get closer to the end. Now we're hearing some different reports from the fans as well. We've got Race Control, he's betting on 1 caution. Paulina saying she's thinking 5 cautions tonight. I'm going to go a little bit under. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3 caution night. And if I had a bet, they're all going to be towards the end of this thing. Or during a green flag pit cycle if we get the opportunity to see that. You guys have heard it every week. I'm a huge fan of watching the green flag pit stops, allowing drivers to show a little bit of strategy as well as racecraft. Now this is first through about 15th place, all in a very tidy pack here. And that's first all the way back to 23rd. Everybody pretty much runs single file, staying in the draft, just kind of clicking off laps here to see what's going to happen. As up front, it's going to be Derek Fulton taking over the race lead once more. Kent McCullough Jr. now shows second. John Ballou running third. Owen Burkhead fourth. Jeremy Paris runs fifth. Again, thank you to our viewers tonight. We're simulcast both on the Team Goon Squad YouTube channel as well over on our Twitch. All races will be stored here on the Team Goon Squad broadcasting channel on YouTube until the end of time, or YouTube, whatever comes first. We got Jessica Flincham saying she wants to go racing. Well, hey, you can get out here on a Monday night, join the friends and family of the FEG PC Racing League. And you too can be out there in the likes of Fulton, McCullough, Ballou. 3 very fast drivers here. We've seen pick up a whole lot of accolades as they've started racing here on Monday nights. Trying to see who our hard charger currently is. Well, looks like it's going to be Sean Powers in the Ford F-150 sporting the number 2 here this evening. He is up 14 positions. Currently runs 8th on the track. He's tucked in behind Burkhead and Villabosch running 6th and 7th. Looks like, I think that's going to be Burkhead on the outside line, working a little bit of side draft action. As we go back up front to McCullough and Fulton, linked up nose to tail. There's Ballou right behind in third. Fulton's up 6 spots as well as McCullough. John Ballou is up 3 positions from where he originally qualified. Drivers very consistent on lap times, all still in the 49-second range, but we've got some pit cycles going on. Powers, Radke, Babb, McKinney, Darnell, Stahl, Luttrell, all coming down pit road for our first green flag stop of the night on lap 11. A very early stop here. Didn't see any pit road shenanigans, so far so good. Now surely that's not due to fuel limitations. That's got to be some teamwork, some strategy, I would think, amongst teammates. Because if we're doing pit stops every 11 laps, we're going to have a long night for the racers. As here, let's go on board with Ken McCullough Jr. tucked in behind Fulton. Giving that rear bumper in the Toyota just the slightest of pushes around the tri-oval here at Daytona. So it looks like that was about 7 drivers all came down pit road together. They will all now be running 17th through 24th. And it looks like everybody just took fuel on that stop that opted to come down pit road. Not a huge necessity to take tires here at the Super Speedway. we've got Big J Bishop join us on the Twitch side of things as well. Gotta agree with his comment saying some of the teams must have been doing some fuel run practice early on and maybe trying to get a little bit off strategy here tonight, do something a little bit different. And that could definitely be a winning move. Now let's see, when will the top 16, 17 drivers opt to come down pit road? We saw that large cluster come in on lap 10, so gonna be interesting because right now things are busy up front. That's about the top 15, I would call it. Too wide, about 7, 8 rows deep. And looks like not a lot of patience as these guys are really pushing hard. Look at McCullough right there on the back of Fulton's bumper, but keep an eye out, Chad Ross in the 38 Special Machine. He's running the high line with Jay Darkert, his teammate, trying to get some momentum going here. I'm very intrigued to see what these green flag stops are going to look like this evening. And I think Ross's run has stalled slightly on the high line. The low line seems to be the most dominant so far. As now we're breaking back down single file. Let's go check back in on Ross. He's leading that high line still with Dargert in tow. Looks like, no, that wasn't Dargert. I think that was Parks. Hop down the inside groove. We're going to go back single file. But I spy a little bit of traffic for our race leader, Garrick Fulton. I believe that's going to be Corey Stahl, Rylan Fascinato, Chris Luttrell, and a tiny little three-pack in front of these massive swarm of lead lap drivers all tucked in single file. Will this pack come blitzing around? Now, I believe the lapped cars have been instructed to hold the high line here at the Super Speedway. We'll see if that's going to ring true. Yes, laps cars going up high, so that's going to put Stahl, Fascinato, and Luttrell a lap down here. Now, Fascinato, I believe, started from pit road tonight in the 69 Toyota. So I think he had some sort of issue getting out of the grid because he has not yet come down pit road. While Corey Stahl, Chris Luttrell did come in on lap 10. And that is a massive freight train. Look at that. Owen Burkhead in the 33 Ford F-150 Clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 48-second flat. As everybody's tucked in, single file, hitting faster and faster speeds. Drivers hitting upper 190s at that point. Who's going to be the first to tag 200? Eli Warren just clicked the trap speed of 198 miles an hour. Oh, things are getting a little bit exciting, a little bit of three-wide action here. Oh, we got one driver up into the wall. I think that was Luttrell, just got squeezed through there. I'm not sure if that was Fascinato that made a big move there and forced the three wide or what the issue was. I think that is Fascinato. Look at him go. Fascinato going three wide once more. I think he's trying to get down to the inside of the track as he has not come down pit road yet. So I wonder if Fascinato, no, that's not Fascinato, it's the 19. Of Eli Warren making some aggressive moves. Warren, who is out front, dropped down towards the back. And the, I guess turquoise is the best way to describe that, Toyota Tundra is just muscling his way back up towards the front here. Now again, your top 16 drivers have yet to come down pit road. And here we go, a lot of drivers coming in. Ross, Dargert, Parks, Hawks, Page, Mullahan, Kaufman, Shane coming in for their first green flag stops of the night. That's going to leave 8 drivers out on the lead lap. Fulton, McCullough, Ballou, Paris, McFadden, Villalobos, Burkhead, and Warren are going to stretch it out a little bit further here. And it's going to be a busy time on pit road as Fulton with a lockup almost going in the grass. As everybody except McFadden comes in. So McFadden going to be the lone driver, the number 5 machine stretching it out. So will McFadden be coming in all at his lonesome here? Let's pull up the live timing to the left side of your screen so you can see where your favorite driver is as this pit stop cycle works his way through. Yes, McFadden will come down pit road all on his lonesome. I believe that's going to put Radke as your race leader. Well, this is going to be interesting. The 5 drivers who came in a lap 10, Radke, McKinney, Powers, Babb, and Darnell will take over the race lead as they had a substantial undercut. And that, my friends, I believe is going to be a lot of drivers from the distance, the team the distance, working together on pit strategy. Seems like it's boding well. McFadden rolls out of pit road after a very quick stop. And let's see what the distance team can do here on strategy. Yeah, Paulina Fascinato and Jessica Flincham, those 2 ladies see what's going on here. Teammates working together, trying something on pit strategy, and so far it seems like it's working very well for them. Out front with a comfortable margin, not a lot of competition around. They've got Jeremy Paris in, 6th place. by about a 10.4 second advantage to your top 5 drivers. So they're looking good here. If they can just keep working together, they may be able to keep going towards the front. But now McKinney, oh no, Racky's bailing out of it in the 51. So McKinney's going to take up the race lead. Powers moves to second. Wally Babb now in third. I wonder if we're seeing a little bit of fuel conservation technique amongst teammates here. Oh, and we've got a caution coming out. It's showing us Stephen Page involved in it. What happened to Page here? Keep an eye out on the number 1 machine. And a spectacular wreck. We'll punt him to the cheap seats. Let's see what happened once more. A little bit slowed down. We're watching the top line, the number 1. Looks like Page gets a little bit loose, comes down, door checks the 24, and then gets hooked by Dargert. But not sure what happened there to Page, but mistakes are easy to make at 200 miles an hour. So that's Stephen Page involved in that one. The 24, who we're trying to see who that is. A lot of drivers don't have, that's going to be Jeremy Paris involved in that, as well as Jay Dargert in the 57 for our first caution of the night. And unfortunately, Page takes a tow back to pit road, so he does have that fast repair, but I think he's going to be down at least a lap or 2 here. As I think just about everybody, yes, everybody's going to come down pit road. Except for Owen Burkhead staying out in the number 33 Ford F-150. We got Sally Hammond joining us from Ontario, Canada. Cheering on the number 5 of McFadden, her personal favorite. McFadden running 16th out on track. So that'll be our first caution of the night. Race Control predicted 1 caution. I believe it was Fascinato predicted 3. Or no, excuse me, she predicted 5, I believe. And my personal guess is 3 coming into tonight. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is our first caution of the night. Most of the fields come down pit road to fuel up. Bowman cheering on the number 51 machine of Jeffrey Radke in the Toyota Tundra. Pace car is in. And an interesting start. Looked like half the field was single file. That's going to put Burkhead and McFadden out front. Shane Paris, your second row. Darnell and Ballou, your third row. As Burkhead's going to get some laps led, the number 33 machine. Take over that race lead. He was one of the last drivers that came down pit road on that green flag cycle. Trying to keep that momentum up, keep charging forward. It looks like Burkhead got a little bit loose in the inside line. That's going to allow Jeremy Paris and Fascinato on the high line a chance to get some things going. Looks like we're going to go 3 wide as McFadden dropped down low. And not even to the halfway mark here. Drivers getting a little bit more antsy as this run continues. As it looks about mid-pack, there's some bumping and grinding going on. We're focusing in on Adam Shane's 79 machine. He's next to what looks like Jordan Darnell and Eddie Hawks in the 45. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Jeremy Paris is taking over the race lead. Wally Babb now shows second. McFadden third. Darnell fourth. Burkhead rounds out the top 5. But the same song and dance. Who's going to push early here? Who's going to try and maybe make something happen? Where we can see drivers once again kind of back out of it, tuck in behind, and see what's going to happen up front. Still a long way to go. As Babb and Darnell leads up nose to tail. Wally Babb in the 99 machine. Up 20 positions from where he started tonight. But keep an eye out on Jordan Darnell in second. The number 15 machine up 22 spots. Here comes Eddie Hawks on the high line, the 45. He's getting pushed. But I believe, I'm trying to see who that is accompanying him on the high line. That's McCullough. Giving a strong shove to the 45. Oh, looked like Hawks wasn't quite clear to get down low. To the outside line, we'll have to try that one once more. So far, very good racecraft here. We had that one caution early on around lap 25-26. And other than that, drivers have been very well behaved for a super speedway run. Now, we believe about 21 or so laps is the most these drivers can get out of a tank. That's going to put our next pit cycle, if we go green, a little bit before lap 50. We'll see everybody starting to dive back down pit road. As Eddie Hawks gets some more laps led here at Daytona. You can see this is about the top 8 drivers in a nice tidy pack, a bit of a breakaway from 9th place back. You've got Jeremy Parrish running in 9th. He's being chased by about 12 other drivers, 9th through 21st. Just about running single file. Big fan of the paint scheme on the 45 as well, doing something for charity. As we play a game of high-speed snake here. Drivers trying to tuck in as quick and tidy as they can, but let's see if we can go on board here. With Ken McCullough Jr., a great shot showing just how close these guys are getting. When you are on board, there's not much you can see besides what's through the windshield of the driver in front of you. Let's see, does McCullough give up bump? Not quite. He's playing it safe here. Not wanting to push the 45 machine of Hawks too aggressively. Really no need here as of yet. You're not going to get much of a breakaway no matter how aggressively you're pushing. You've got so many drivers tucked in behind you. There's that second line of drivers starting to catch their way up. That's Jeremy Paris leading that charge. As Eddie Hawks, who's the other 45? I think that's going to be Villalobos on the high line, showing as the number 45 machine on the truck, but the number 14 on live timing, so not running the right transponder here tonight. He's got Sean Powers tucked in behind him. And they are making a run for it here. It's a 4-car pack on the high side, about 5 drivers on the inside line, so you may see something get formed up here. But behind them, that second pack closing the gap down to 0.7 of a second. So as everybody's fighting for track position, trying to find a dance partner to tuck in behind, that's allowing the rest of the drivers out on track to pull their way forward. Instead of a 7-8 truck battle for the lead, you're going to have a whole lot of company really, really shortly. As we are 2 rows wide, about 3 rows deep up here for the front. And that second pack has squarely caught up to the race leaders. It's Hawks, McCullough, Villalobos, Babb, and Powers, your current top 5, just about at the halfway mark of today's main event. As 4 drivers stay committed to the outside line, just about everyone else on track from 1st through 21st place, all on the inside line, single file. As here comes Villalobos still charging the outside line with Sean Powers tucked in behind him. You've also got McFadden, the number 5, up on the high line. Villalobos keep that momentum going forward. Will he be able to get around Hawks and McCullough, who are guarding the inside line? And will we see more drivers come to help out on the high line as well? Looks like that that's Darter, the 57, starting to close up on the outside line as well. There's soon to be lap traffic that may cause a little bit of excitement here. I think that's Derek Fulton in the 07. He must have some sort of problems as Fulton goes very, very high here. This is going to be a precarious spot for him to be in. Fulton, a pro, though, holding that third lane. And then he'll try and tuck in wherever he can. So it looks like the field made the pass nice and clean. Fulton tucks in behind the lead pack. That's one of the most white-knuckle spots you can be in on a racetrack. When you've got 20-some-odd drivers blitzing by you, and you've got to trust yourself not to tag that wall. You got to trust your competitors not to put you up in the cheap seats. So always great seeing the field able to navigate that, make it happen. Now we're expecting the next 5 to 6 laps of the fuel window to open up for these drivers based on the fuel runs we saw early on in the night. As it stands, not seeing many drivers maybe trying to get down low. Everybody holding their line and not seeing what I would say is a signature mark of drivers trying to get set up for a pit stop. And still the field remains great, a little bit more stretched out here at the front. Look at that, Dargert, who's involved in the early race incident, has pulled his way back up to 6th. And man, oh man, Hawks, Villalobos, McCullough, McFadden, all up here nose to tail, pushing their lead line cars as forward as they can. You've got Hawks on the inside line, Villalobos on the outside, but here we go, the second pit stops of the night. I see a little bit of smoke, but so far so good, not seeing anything crazy. That is about 10 drivers all coming down pit road together on lap 43. $11 drivers staying out on track. As I think now you're seeing drivers trying to get linked up and maybe try and get down the inside line. There goes McCullough starting off to the apron. He's going to come in for a green flag stop. Eli Warren's going to follow. 9 drivers opt to stay out here. Villalobos may take over the race lead here. On the high line, still linked up with McFadden. Yes, he does, aggressively dropping down the inside line. Kind of chopping the nose off of Hawks, but everybody able to get through it nice and clean. We're seeing double vision, 245s up front. Have a slow car. I think that was Luttrell having some sort of issues in the number 500. Oh, what is that? What's smoking? We got somebody blown up. Who was that? That was Jordan Darnell. How did he blow up? We didn't see any crash reports out of the 15 machine. But something catastrophic has happened as he limps it down to pit road. That's going to give McFadden and Villalobos the slightest of breakaways, about 0.4 of a second over the rest of the pack. Still, your top 9 have not come down pit road yet. As I think a large portion of the field saw that smoke, started to check up very wisely, I may say. And here we go. This is the top 9 intermingled with a bit of traffic. Now this is the point I would say it's a safe assumption to see a lot of the drivers trying to get set up on that inside line for a green flag pit stop. Still expecting at least one more stop after this run, as well as here comes McFadden down pit road. Oddly, the only driver to come down pit road. That's going to leave Villalobos, Hawks, Dargert, Parks, Mullihan. Your top 5 is... Oh, things are getting tight as we go 3 wide up front. I believe that's a little bit of traffic with Fascinato in the mix. Villalobos showing as your race leader, Hawks second. I think that's Fascinato and looks like Fulton in front of your race leader. Fulton fighting to stay on the lead lap here in the 07. Hawks, Dargert, Parks, Ross, Mullihan, Kaufman, and Shane all come down pit road together. Villalobos stays out in the number 45. What says 45? Really, he's the 14. Let's see if Villalobos is going to come down pit road here. He's linked up with lap traffic. Maybe getting a tow, maybe able to fuel save a little bit here. As that's Fulton and Fascinato just ahead of them, trying to stay on the lead lap. Here comes Villalobos down pit road. So that's going to put Sean Powers, I believe, as your race leader, with about 7 drivers tucked in behind them. This pack of drivers all came in a lap 42 together. It'll be 30 laps left to go this time by, as it looks like the green flag stops just about work their way out. Now expecting the next fuel window to open up around lap 60, 65 is about the range we're looking for. So again, drivers trying everything they can on fuel strategy, do something a little bit different. Eddie Hawks in the 45 machine coming down pit road for another late race stop. Haven't seen any penalties on pit road tonight, so everybody's been doing a good job getting those machines slowed down in time to avoid causing themselves or others any heartache. McKinney in the 46 machine tucked in squarely behind Powers. You've also got Wally Babb, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Eli Warren, John Ballou, Jeffrey Radke, all in this pack of top 7 drivers. And a lot of those I've called before, and I know for a fact that they are master strategists when it comes to super speedway racing. A little bit further back, about 7.3 seconds back to our second pack of drivers. That is Dargert, Parks, Mullihan, and Ross. Linked up a little bit of traffic. I believe I see Ross and I think Fulton tucked in as well. Now that second pack will have 5 more laps of fuel Then the top 7 cars. It's going to be interesting to see how strategy pays out for these guys tonight. I believe we've only had 1 caution so far this evening, so the guy's doing a good job. Race Control predicted 1. Some of the fans said 5. My personal wager was around 3 cautions. And I bet they were all going to be late in the race as drivers get a little bit antsy. But with a bunch of teams working together for this series, and maybe a little bit less frantic, not frantic. In the last laps, everybody's trying to push their way through, go 3-4 wide to pick up a win. They may be a little bit more calm and value the team points more so than an individual win here. Now Sean Powers, your race leader, is up 21 spots from where he started. Qualified way back in 22nd. Well, Powers with a little bit of a bobble there on the apron. McKinney has to check up ever so slightly, the number 46 Chevrolet. And speaking of Chevrolet, a very diverse top 5. You got Powers and Babb running 1st and 3rd in Ford. McKinney and McCullough running 2nd and 4th in Chevrolet. And then Eli Warren in 5th. Our lone Toyota inside the top 5. Oh, we've got problems. It shows Owen Burkhead off track. Will the caution come out? What's he doing? Taking a tow. What happened to Burkhead? Let's take a look. If the caution does not come out, looks like he grabbed a little bit of apron and oh, a hard hit. Looks like, oh no, that was McFadden tied up in that one as well. McFadden has to come down pit road. No caution, 26 laps left to go. McFadden in and out, 6 seconds, but his race may be over. I think he took a fast repair. He's going to be hoping for maybe a big crash up front as we are down to 17 drivers on the lead lap. Chris Luttrell also coming down pit road. I wonder if he was another driver we saw tied up in that one. I think he was. Look at the right side damage on that 500 machine. And there goes the lead pack blasting by in the tri-oval. Powers hops out of line. Here comes McKinney, Babb, and McCullough to take over the top 3 now. Fuel window is open for these drivers. The top 7 last came in a lap 42 together. Paulina Fascinato pumped to see the 46th and then the number 99. In the top 3, that's McKinney and Babb running 1st and 2nd. McCullough still runs 3rd. Warren and Ballou round out the top 5. Now I think when their pit stop comes up, it's going to be pretty rapid. I'm expecting all of these 7 drivers to come down pit road together. And then they should be good to go to the end here, I believe, on fuel, following their final green flag stop. Jessica Flincham also pumped for Babb. Babb, the Georgia native. I'm a little biased. I'm a big fan of the Georgia native. All Bab racing with Threat Level, Midnight Motorsports, and the Distance Motorsports. We won't judge him for his questionable profile picture, as he is running second, so I guess he can get away with it, up 19 positions in the 99. $16 drivers on the lead lap, 23 laps left to go. 7 seconds back is John Mullahan in the number 6 machine. Running 8th. He's linked up with Ross, Dargert, Parks, and Villalobos. And drivers rocking and rolling here. Now it's down to about 6 drivers in a tidy pack, as Sean Powers has fallen off the pace slightly. The number 2, I think Powers actually signaling he's coming down pit road. Yeah, the virtual hand out the window. That's going to leave 6 drivers. Now I believe at this point they are well and good to have a stop, and they'll be having more than enough fuel to make it till the end. So now the big moment. Are these guys going to stretch the fuel run out maybe a little bit more so they have enough in the tank, both literally and figuratively? That way, if we do have a green-white checker, they don't want to come in too early if they can help it. Try to give themselves just the littlest bit of reserves. As it's 20 laps left to go as McKinney crosses the line. Babb, McCullough, Warren, Ballou, and Radke all running nose to tail here together. So it looks like Babb staying tucked in right behind that 46. That's for both speed as well as fuel saving. As if Babb can stay right there in the draft, that'll allow him to lift just the slightest amount through the corners and possibly save a bit of fuel here. 19 laps left to go. We've been seeing about 21 to 25 laps out of a run. I'd imagine the next 2 laps you're going to see this pack all come down pit road together, the top 6, who all came in around lap 42, 43 for their last pit stop. And here we go, the final pit stop, planned pit stop of the evening for these top drivers. Now look at this, Eli Warren has opted to stay out, the number 19. Gonna go an extra lap, maybe to give himself a bit of a buffer here at the end, as he's tucked in behind the number 2 machine of Sean Powers. So I believe Warren's going to probably come in this time by. as he's got to be getting close on the fuel run. Now, he did have one extra lap, but yeah, there he goes. Warren's going to come down pit road. Nice and easy, and look at that. There's Mullahan right behind with Ross, Dargert, Parks, Villalobos will be your new top 5 here with 17 laps left to go, but I think these guys are going to be short on fuel. I think they're going to have to come down pit road around lap 67, if I'm doing my math right here. And I'm not sure how that's going to work things out towards the end. This is definitely going to come down to strategy. Watching with bated breath. You've got 5 drivers who all came in last time I ran lap 47, except for Villalobos. He came in lap 48, so he'll have an extra lap of fuel. Not sure how much good that's going to do him here. As it looks like Mullahan, is he signaling he's going down pit road? Way down the apron. Really, he didn't run out of gas. But Mullahan throwing out the anchor there, rapidly slowing down, giving Ross, Dargert, Parks the top 3. Is this more strategy amongst teammates, I wonder? If I'm reading this correctly, Ross, Dargert, Parks, Mullahan inside the top 4, all teammates. Julio Villalobos showing as a different team, so he's not going to have direct comms, team comms with those other drivers. 15 laps left to go. We think these top 4 or 5 drivers are going to have to come down pit road at least once more. They're about 2 seconds off their fastest laps of the race, so I don't think they can fuel save that much to stretch it out all the way to the end. So I'm thinking there's going to be a late race mad dash on the pit road amongst these drivers. Dargert taking a peek down low. There's Sean Powers, the number 2 machine, trying to get his lap back here. With 14 laps left to go, I think Powers is in trouble unless he gets a late race caution to get gifted a lucky dog. But he's going to try and do it the old-fashioned way, just on raw speed and horsepower as he works the high line. Got to be careful there. The last thing you want to do is get tied up with the race leaders. And that is a good way to not make friends rather quickly. Jeremy Pearson, 24, fighting Powers for the lucky dog position as they go side by side out of turn 2. Mullahan looks like he's going to go down pit road. Oh, it's going to be a party on pit road. Who's going to be the first one in, first one out? I think it was Parks diving his way in. So Dargert, Parks, Mullahan, Ross, and Villalobos all down pit road together here. I think that's going to put McCullough as your race leader, but boy, is it going to be busy for him here. As no, it's Dalton McKinney working the inside line. It's going to be McKinney, McCullough, Radke, Ballou, Warren. I believe will all be the top 5 together. They all came in lap 62, so should be good to go to make it till the end. As Ross makes his way out of pit road. Now, where is this going to put that second package? You've got 5 drivers in the lead lap, all tucked in up here, and you've got several drivers, at least 1 lap down, intermingled in the party. As McKinney and McCullough go side by side, Radke and Ballou side by side in the second row. And that's Eli Warren and McFadden on the third row. McFadden a lap down here. So this is going to be interesting. It's the Distance Motorsports drivers, for the most part, up front. But you've also got DFR and Ballou Racing in the mix as well. We had an off track with Jeremy Paris, no caution. So 2 different teams currently up front in the mix of it as we go 3 wide once more with traffic. Look at Ballou trying to get that outside line working. But right now, McCullough holding on to it here. McCullough holds on to the race lead. Dalton McKinney second. Jeffrey Radke showing third. Ballou and Warren rounding out the top 5, but things keep getting more and more exciting up front as McKinney and Radke going side by side. No, McKinney's gonna take the lead, and no, is that McFadden again? A hard hit for the number 5 machine. Somehow keeps it pointing the right direction. Let's take a look at that one. Oh, I think McFadden may have come down there. Absolutely drills the outside wall and able to hold on to it, keep things pointing the right direction, but man, oh man, so close to that late race caution we were talking about. Still 5 drivers up in the mix here to bring home a win. McCullough, your race leader. McKinney and Ballou going second. But there's traffic once more for the race leaders. And the tri-oval, not easy to make 200-mile-an-hour passes when you've got no room for error. A single tiny mistake can rapidly get compounded, as it shows John Ballou, your race leader, but McCullough's going to fire back on the inside line. McKinney trying to stay linked up on the 03 machine of McCullough on that inside groove. But now things are going to start getting a little bit more hectic for their drivers. Laps rapidly clicking off. And now's the time to find some teammates, find some allies to help bring it home till the end. Ballou trying to work the outside line. He's got the support of Eli Warren. There's also the 66 of Corey Stahl, who's a lap down. But he's going to try and help out some teammates here if he can. Ballou slots down in front of McCullough. Warren holds the outside line. A little bit of traffic there as we go 3 wide down the backstretch here at Daytona. This is going to be interesting. Can we bring it home to the end? We've had 1 caution so far around the lap 25-26 mark. Blue and Warren side by side. Looks like McCullough's going to snake a little bit higher up towards the front. McKinney in hot pursuit. As Blue and McCullough have the slightest of breakaways here. Looks like Warren's going to slot in ahead of Dalton McKinney. Radke still showing fifth, but he's got a little bit of lap traffic to contend with as well. Now, if we can take the white flag without a big wreck, we will finish this up under green flag conditions. But if we have a big crash in the next couple of laps, we will go into our overtime green-white checker conditions, as it looks like we're going to go 3, 4 wide down the backstretch here at Daytona. Everybody getting antsy, trying to go 3 wide, but there's lap traffic ahead of Corey Stahl squeezed in the middle here. Well, what's going to happen is they try and filter in together to avoid getting tied up with lappers. Baloo holds onto the race lead. McCullough second. McKinney showing third, but a very aggressive third as he works the outside line. McKinney with the accompaniment of the number 15 machine of Jordan Darnell. I see what's happening. I think you got a lot of teammates that may be a lap down trying to help out some friends here. 4 laps left to go here at Daytona. 3 wide once more down the backstretch. Baloo and McCullough linked up nose to tail. It's pretty hectic. Number 24 of Paris is a lap down. Corey Stahl in the 66 is a lap down. Jordan Darnell a lap down, number 15. But it looks like Jeffrey Radke finding some support to give to Dalton McKinney on the outside line, but we've got more traffic yet to cut through. That was number 33 of Burkhead, who was very fast tonight. Unfortunately, just not having the race he was looking for, as he runs about 22nd out on track. Started 5th, so definitely a rough night all the way around. But look at this. Dalton McKinney showing briefly as the race leader, ahead of John Baloo and Kenneth McCullough Jr. on the inside line. Look at the support from the outside. It's going to be 2 laps left to go this time by. McKinney's found some support and trying to get a hearty shove up towards the front, but Baloo and McCullough not going to make it easy here. 2 laps left to go here at Daytona. It's anybody's guess what's going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. Jessica Flincham saying, I'm scared. I've got to agree. I think things could get a little bit hectic as you've got different teams up front on different laps as well, all trying to bring home some big points for themselves as well as the team. White flag will be out this time by, and that means we're not going to see the infamous green-white checker. Race control predicted 1 caution tonight, and so far that's looking like a pretty good prediction. If we can cross the line here, we're going to bring it home. Yes, we are. White flag is out. It's going to be a drag race. Baloo, McKinney, McCullough, Radke, all separated by 1/10 of a second inside the top 4. And don't count out Eli Warren and the number 19 machine, just a 10th and a half back. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be an exciting one, ladies and gentlemen. Baloo shows up front as we go 3 wide. A little bit of bumping, a little bit of grinding between McKinney and Baloo. McKinney on the middle line, Baloo down low. Both have their teammates to push them up towards the front. Warren tried an outside line. Unfortunately, didn't bode well for him. They're bumping and grinding. Contact. Around goes somebody. Let's see who it is. It's going to be Baloo at the line. McCullough in second, and Dalton McKinney will round out the top 3 as they are yard sailing across the infield. Jeffrey Radke goes up, over, and repeats that about 12 times. But it's John Ballou, Kenneth McCullough Jr., and Dalton McKinney bringing home the top 3 here tonight. John Ballou's going to burn it down. The number 9 machine, a very well-deserved win here. A lot of fun to watch as well. As we're going to get the top 3 up here into victory lane. Up first, we've got Dalton McKinney, the number 46 machine, join us. Dalton, a great run, a lot of fun to watch you out there. Talk me through those last couple laps because it was looking mighty hectic.
Yeah, it was just hard pushing. I had a teammate behind me, and them guys on the bottom, I knew they were working well together. I think we had the run coming out of 4, but John got into my door and slowed my progress and caused that wreck there at the end, which is kind of frustrating with such a clean race, and like that is not necessary.
Now, Dalton, did you expect tonight to only have 1 caution, or were you expecting to see that yellow flag a bit more often?
You never know. I think there was a lot of wrecks on the tracks that just weren't bringing out cautions, it sounds like. I mean, I had teammates all over the track there on that last run, and it's like every 10 laps it was, oh, we got another wreck, but no caution was coming out, which I like that. I like going the long green flag runs. Pit strategy is always a good time, but yeah, you never know how they're gonna go.
Well, a lot of fun to watch. A great job on third. Dalton, who do you want to give a quick shout out to that helped you get up here inside the top 3?
I'll just say everyone at the distance that keeps doing this. We're having a lot of fun, having a good season, and hopefully we can finish strong. And then just everyone that watches.
Awesome. Well said, Dalton. Great job, and look forward to having you back up here in 2 weeks, my friend.
All right, see you then. Thanks.
That was Dalton McKinney joining us with a hard-fought third. Up next, Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 03 machine. Kenneth, we've seen you do a bunch of different strategies in the past, sometimes more often than not, starting at the tail end. But tonight, it seemed like you were up front charging the entire time.
Man, that race was a blast. It's finally get to come in here and speak with you for a change.
I know, it's been a long time coming. We always brag on our Georgia natives, but a rough season. So what made you kind of change up that strategy and instead of hanging out towards the back after qualifying, and all of a sudden we saw that 03 machine up front pretty much the whole night?
Yeah, I've had such bad luck starting in the back. Figured I'd change it up a little bit. And I had quite a few teammates in here tonight, so that helped out for sure.
Well, glad to see it worked out well for you. Now, the fuel strategy call, we've seen some pretty spectacular things from you in the past. Did you try anything different tonight, or did you just kind of link up with teammates and see what they were going to do?
Nah, I've been racing with Garrett Maines and Jason Maines and Baker and all them for the last 10 months, and just tried to pull their strategy and done a short pit there.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you. Kenneth, it's been a long time. Good to have you back. Who do you want to give a quick shout out to that helped you finish second here tonight?
I'd like to thank John, Derek, and the rest of the teammates. Did a hell of a job tonight. Thank Jeff for putting this thing on. He does a wonderful job, and appreciate you for doing the broadcast.
Always my pleasure, Kenneth. Hope to see you back up here the next couple weeks, and it's always a good time talking to you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Thank you. That was Kenneth McCullough Jr. finishing second, but up now, the man of the hour, John Ballou in the number 9 machine. John, great run. It seemed like it was going to be a white-knuckle ride all the way to the end here at Daytona.
Yeah, man. I got to give a lot of shout out to everybody over at DFR this week. We joined up with a new team, and it really seemed to pay off. I got some of the best pushes by Kenneth I could ask for, and we were door to door there for a long time. I didn't know if we were going to win it or not, but I gave it all I could.
Now, John, were you expecting tonight to be a strategy race as far as fuel run, or were you kind of thinking that the cautions were going to throw a wrench in that the entire time?
I mean, I always plan for these races to go green the entire time, and then as cautions come, change my strategy. We only had to change it one time, and that was because of the caution in the middle, and it made it a fuel strategy race. I mean, it wasn't a whole big strategy. Short pitting is the way to go at these super speedways, and we got a good couple stops. Wish we could have had one better earlier in the race to get more control, but we controlled it when it counts, and that's all that matters is being the control car.
So, John, I guess my final question for you is: does that having that fast repair in your back pocket take a little bit of stress out of the evening, or does it make it a little bit more hectic knowing that guys kind of have that get out of jail free card on these super speedways?
Um, it's a little bit of both. You can wad them up at any time and be fine and still finish the race, but the people who don't wad them up and have an extra one can race a lot harder. So you kind of have to race two ways. You got to race to save it. Kind of want to save it to the end if you got to use it. But thankfully we didn't have to use it tonight. And truck stayed clean. All the pit stops were clean. Had good on and off pit stops, so can't complain about that. Mistake-free races. We'll continue to put it up front.
Awesome. Always a great time calling the action. A lot of fun watching you guys in the top five. Put on a spectacular show. And now you've got the privilege, the pleasure, my friend, the final send-offs of the evening. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps you bring it home in the top spot of Victory Lane?
Yeah, tonight goes to Kenneth, man. He latched on and pushed me for all I was worth, and everybody on this new team at DFR. We got a powerhouse team, and we're going to try to dominate these races. And then I got to thank the sponsors, Reaper Speed Lab, Abruzzi, Splash and Go Graphics, all them guys painting the truck, Gale Force, get some of the best shocks in the world. Yeah, got to thank everybody, especially that helped me on the open side.
Well, awesome, John. A great job having you back up here in the top spot. Looking forward to more action with you and that newly formed team in the near future. And again, congratulations on a great win here tonight.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. That was John Ballou finishing in the top spot. Kenneth McCullough Jr. finishing second, with Dalton McKinney in the 46 rounding out the top three. Great racing, great action, and a lot of camaraderie here at the FEG NASCAR Oval Series every Monday night, brought to you by FEG PC. As always, I'm your host, James East. Thank you all so much for tuning in on behalf of the league as well as Team Good Squad Broadcasting. I look forward to having you back in 2 weeks as we are off next week for July 4th. But until then, we'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.